everyone, it's Bethany. Let's go ahead and continue crafting for fall. I have some fun crafts I'm going to show you today. Some of them actually are some teacher gifts that I'm excited to put together and get out the door. So let's go ahead and get started. As always, everything that I'm using to create each and every one of these crafts will be linked down below. I go ahead and list those by craft. So we are, for example, going to make a hand towel today. So if you go down below and look under hand towel, you'll see all of the materials that I used to put that together. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I can't wait to continue crafting for fall. It's my favorite time of year. The weather here has turned. I am enjoying a very nice pumpkin candle and it's just so cozy. So let's go ahead and create. Hopefully you're inspired by what you see on my craft table today. So the first craft we're going to do is this wooden sign. I was very inspired by something I saw at Hobby Lobby in terms of color. So I loved this kind of sage look. I'll link the chalk paint that I used down below. I only did one layer of it because I like that more weathered natural look. So I did one layer and then I also have this cute little design that I'm going to put on top. And I saw something similar at Hobby Lobby and I really liked the color with the white vinyl. I thought it was really pretty. So I'm going to introduce this sage color into my home decor. So I am going to go ahead and grab some transfer tape now. And I did say in the intro that I was going to do some teacher gifts, but I am just not loving how my idea is coming together. So I'm going to just cancel that one for this video. Maybe we'll circle back to that one another time, but we're not going to do that this time. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our transfer tape here. I feel like this is so true for me that fall is my season. I was on a walk with a friend the other day and we were both talking about how as fall has arrived, our mood has definitely changed. And I'm not sure if it is just like the actual sense of fall or the fact that it's just a season that tends to be a little bit more cozy, but I have just been loving early mornings with a pumpkin candle and my book and a blanket. It's just been so cozy and nice. So this little statement is so true for me. So go down into the comments. Let me know what your favorite season is and why. I truly think fall is my favorite. I know it's my favorite. And it's because I love all of the smells of fall. I just love it. And I love that, I don't know, it just kind of encourages me to keep reading. Does that even make sense at all? I just feel like it's a good excuse to cuddle up with the blanket and get some reading in. Okay, so let me see if I can get this. There we go. It's laying down. Just take your time. This is so pretty. And I think I will go back through. I have just been not able to get out to the garage to sand my blanks lately. Actually, since we've moved, I'm not sure why. So I'm going to go ahead and distress the edges after I get this done because I like that look as well. It's just super pretty. Okay, there we go. So that's our first little craft. I just really love the take on having the white on a really pretty sage. I think that's so pretty. I personally like to leave my sides a natural wood. So you absolutely can paint those if you like, but I like kind of the dimension that that offers. And I like the texture of the wood. I just really think it kind of pulls the piece together, but you do what fits your style the best. Okay, so there's our first little craft. Let's go ahead and continue. Again, everything that I use to bring each and every craft together will be linked down below, including the designs and where you can purchase those. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next craft. Okay, so this next craft, I have this piece. Now, this came from Michael's, and I recently got there and had a full cart because they were having such a sale, and this ended up being something that was really affordable. So let me zoom out just a little bit so we're not so scrunched in here. Okay, the messy desk. Okay, so what I want to do here is this back part actually comes out and we can really have fun with this. And the thing that I like about where we're running with this craft is that it is absolutely interchangeable. So you can have this piece be your constant all year round, and you can just change out the inside. And more often than not, I have lately been really appreciative of crafts that I can redo. So it's just something fun because for me, year after year, I like to change out my decor. These are sneaking in here. Did anybody else see these at Target? I had to get some for the girls and I. They're just so cute. They're little straw toppers for your straw. Okay, so off topic, but I have this really pretty scrapbook paper set, and I was really intrigued by a few of these, honestly, but I really like this kind of minty, I don't even know, it's kind of a minty sage look, and I just thought it looked really pretty for fall. Even though they're daisies, I just liked the whole vibe. So what I'm going to do is get a measurement for my wood piece, which is just that inside part of the frame, and I'm going to trim this paper down to the same dimension. So I'm just using my mat here, and it is 11 by 11. So let me go ahead and just trim this paper down. Go ahead and bring this trimmer in, and we're going to do 11 by 11. So let's go ahead and do this side first. Oops. And oh, the other side is so pretty. Oh, I love that. We'll have some extras here. So we'll do 11. There we go. And trim it down. Okay, then let's remove this. Flip this over, and we'll do 11 on this side. Right in there. And trim. All right, so pretty. So now I have my inside piece that I can use. Now, I can't remember if I need this piece. I think I need my trimmer still. So let's leave that handy for a moment. But now I'm gonna put this in here, and I'm not gonna glue it because, again, I want this to be interchangeable. So I want to be able to just simply remove this piece, put it with my fall decor, and then bring it out the following year. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this piece in here, just like so. Okay, whoops. I need to tuck it in there a little bit. Ooh, I feel like I am a little bit off there. So let me trim that down just a little bit more. And I should have done that, actually. Usually I do kind of just take a tad more off. Whoops, for picture frames and such. Oops, I kind of snagged that. Let me start kind of in the middle there. There we go. Okay, I got it to be a mess. Okay, let me do that side and just a tad more here as well. And since it's just a sliver coming off, I'm going to start in the middle so I can get that paper started there. Okay, there we go. So now I can bring this back in, slip this right inside. Okay, and then I'll grab this piece and place it in here as well. Now, if you were making this as a permanent project, I would probably add some type of adhesive just to keep that paper in there, but it should be fine just like that. Okay, so there is where we're at so far. Now, what I did is I found this pumpkin SVG that I use every single year. I adore it so much. And in fact, I don't need my trimmer anymore because I noticed that I did all my trimming in Design Space. So what I did, and I'll get these dimensions for you in a minute, but I put my pumpkin on some cardstock, had it trim it out, and I'm gonna take these inside pieces and remove them. So when you are removing cardstock, let's go ahead and remove everything from my mat for just a minute. I have some room to work here. You don't wanna bend your cardstock. So what you wanna do is instead, I like to flip mine over and I'm gonna bend the mat instead, okay? And then all these little pieces are just gonna, I kind of like put a hand on my paper, but all these little pieces are just gonna start popping out. Okay, so nice little piece. There we go. Oops, I didn't quite get a deep enough cut up here, it looks like. Oh no, There we go. Just did not want to come off. So I am actually going to use, originally, I want to kind of talk you through this. Originally what I wanted to do was use these inside pieces to do my pumpkin. And then I thought this would look even better. I loved the look of having the negative and just to showcase some more of that fun floral for the pumpkin. So for this piece, I did 8 1/4 by 8 1/4 in inches. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some foam squares, and I have a couple sizes. So I'm going to do a big, I'm going to do a small, and I'm simply going to add these all over the back of my pumpkin to give a boost of dimension, and I think that'll look really, really neat. Okay, and then for these smaller areas, I'm just going to do, I'm not going to do them all over, again, just because the nature of the project, but I'm going to trim some of these smaller foam squares in half and just add so that these don't fall and lay flat, just to give them some support. Okay, and you can add a ton if you wish. I'm not going to go overboard here, but you certainly can. Okay, now comes the daunting part of removing all of these little backers. A weeder can be your best friend for something like this. So let me grab all of these and then we'll place it on our little floral piece. Okay, and then without getting my sweatshirt all stuck, I just need to get these little liners as well. Probably should have done that first. Hindsight on crafting is a real thing. Okay, here we go. Wonderful. Now, another thing you can do here is you can add liquid glue on top of your adhesive just to give you some time to, you know, move it around and not have it stick down right away. But I am gonna just be a risk taker today. I think that looks great. And lay that right on down. And because of the raised foam tape, it's going to, or foam squares really, it's going to just kind of pop up out of there. Isn't that pretty? I love the dimension on that. And it's just simple. So you can, again, just take the piece of paper out at the end of fall season, replace it with whatever you want to do next. I really like the idea of just having things that are interchangeable. Especially with crafting, I feel like I could craft all day long and sometimes I don't need even more decor or stuff like that. So I like to kind of just replace things in and out. I think that's really fun. Okay, other things that you can do is you could add, you know, a happy fall piece of paper here. I like to do some wordless projects just because I do a lot of signs and things like that. So it's nice to pair some projects that are wordless, but how cute are these gonna look next to each other? I think that's going to be really fun. Okay, so again, the frame is from Michaels. I'll link the file down below. If you've been with my channel over the years, you know that I use this pumpkin SVG each and every year because it's just my favorite. I love it. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next project. I think I'm going to sublimate a mug. Okay, I have not used my mug press since I've moved, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. And I also just got my sublimation printer up and running. I actually needed to replace the ink because I hadn't used it in a while and it had expired. So everything is up and running again. It took a little bit for the ink to get here. So now I can be back in sublimation fun. Okay, so I did 3 pieces of butcher paper. I like to use butcher paper when sublimating to cover my designs. Just trim that down just a tad further. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and start by cleaning off this mug. Okay, I'm just getting this nice and clean. It's really important for the sublimation process. Now, another thing I want to mention is that if you're new to sublimation, what you are going to want to do is make sure that the blank that you use, in this case, it is a coffee mug, but you want to make sure that that is made for sublimation. And you can find sublimation blanks just about at any craft store. So just ensure that it is something that you can sublimate on. You cannot do this technique on just any mug. Okay, so I have my sublimation mug here. Let's go ahead and look at the design. So I went ahead and printed this design on my Sawgrass. I thought it was so cute. It is mirrored, so everything is backwards because the next step we are going to take is taping this onto our mug. So I'm gonna grab my scissors and just trim this down, just like that. And I'll trim them apart as well. I just went ahead and printed 2 out so I could put 1 on each side of my mug. I liked the idea of having it doubled up there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm grabbing some heat tape. And with my heat tape, what I'm going to do is tape my design onto my mug. So let me get my little cup cradle here. And this is turned green, so it's ready to go. Let's grab 1 and place that on. And you can kind of see through the paper just a little bit, enough to where you can line up your design. Do you kind of see how you can see the design through there? I always do this, and I need to take my tape off first because it's a little bit tricky to do it one-handed. Okay. And there we go. Now, sublimation can be very potent and fragrant, so you will want to open up a window, just have some good air circulation going on when doing sublimation. And I'll link the printer that I have because this is printed on with a sublimation printer on sublimation paper with sublimation ink. And I know that's a mouthful, but it's just not any printer, not a home office printer or anything. So I'll link what I have down below. I love mine. I, again, just got it back up and running though, because I had not been using it just because I've been in the middle of a move. So it's so nice to have it back. I have so many projects I've been wanting to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and line that up. And don't stress if for some reason your design is a little higher or lower on one side, because you're never gonna see them side by side, right? One is always gonna be on the opposite end, so no worries. Okay, so now I have that. The next thing that I'm going to do, let's remove this, is add the butcher paper. And the butcher paper is simply going to protect my heat press here in case any of that sublimation ink comes off or seeps out or anything like that. I want to make sure that I'm protecting the inside of my press, because if that ink gets on anything, especially this inside piece, once I go to use this again, it will sublimate that onto my next project, which I do not want. Okay, so adding 3 layers of butcher paper there. I have a couple pieces of tape. Okay, and there we go. Just wrap it around. Doesn't have to be perfect by any means. And there we go. Okay, so now we're all set. So what I'm going to do now is just place this in my press. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and close this. It's going to begin a countdown. So I'm gonna monitor it. I always stay in the room with my mug press when it is pressing a mug, but I definitely take this opportunity to clean up my craft space or get some things done because it does take quite a few minutes. Okay, so it is all done. You hear that chime. I am going to go ahead and turn that off, open this up, and I'm going to lift this out just by that handle. The handle's nice and cool, but everything else is going to be extremely hot, so you want to be very, very careful. I'm gonna go grab a little coaster for this to sit on while it cools, and we'll just let this cool down. Okay, I just have it on my little desktop ironing board here, and I'm gonna grab some tweezers just to help me start removing the tape. Now, I think I mentioned that this was heat resistant tape, but in case I didn't, it's worth repeating myself. This is intended to get hot, so you want to make sure you're not using regular tape because it will melt and potentially ruin your machine. Okay, so there's my butcher paper. As you can see, some of my design, do you see how some of my design got onto the butcher paper? That means that I need to throw this away because this, if I were to reuse it, could transfer over to another project. So this is going to go ahead and be recycled. And now I'm just going to remove the tape so I can see the pretty design. Oh my gosh, it's cute. I love the pinks. It's just so my style. I love that. Okay, I'm going to show you up close in a moment, but let me go ahead and just do the other side. Oh, how I have missed sublimation. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. Now, this is perfectly dishwasher safe, so it's permanently on there. So now you can put it in the dishwasher and I mean, it's good to go. Isn't that neat? One thing I really appreciate about sublimation as well is that you can have really vivid designs. Everything is just so nice and colorful. I should have mentioned too that the design, when it prints, it's going to look really muted. And then once the heat is applied, then it takes on its true color and vibrancy. But I am obsessed with that. That is going to be perfect for my cozy mornings with my little candle, blanket, and book. Okay, everything that I used to do this will be linked down below. If you're new to sublimation, I know it seems overwhelming, but I have you covered. I also have lots of videos on sublimation and the Cricut Mug press. So go ahead and check those out if you want a little bit more in-depth coverage on that, but I love how this turned out. I mentioned a week ago or so that the Target Dollar Spot has the cutest dish towel combos, and I love them. I really love the tones of this. I love the pinks and the teals. Then we have a nice hunter green and a pumpkin color. It's beautiful. And then I wasn't really in love with this, but you know, it came as a set. So I'm gonna just gift that to somebody. So what I wanna do is I have some gold glitter iron on, and remember earlier when I was using that pumpkin that I tell you I use time and time again? Well, this is another one that I use, and it comes from the same designer, but this is the maple leaf, and it's just so pretty. So I believe I was also speaking to kind of when you're thinking through your designs and wanting to put something on something that's much busier. When you want to do that, you want to look for a design that is a little bit more solid, right? So this doesn't have a bunch of wording on it. It has very minimal look to it, and it's more of a solid. So it just pairs well with something like this that is rather busy. So what I want to do is I'm going to take this over to my heat press, and I'm going to try to maintain these pressed lines because it will help me line this up. But I'm going to pre-press this material just to make sure there's no moisture, make sure it's nice and straight. And then I'm also going to lint roll it to make sure there isn't any lint that will come between my pretty design and laying it down. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this all pressed onto the dish towel. Okay, so I'm just gonna bring this over to my nice cold mat so that I can cool this down really quick. I want it to be cold before I remove that liner. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and place this right back, just like so. Oh, I love how that looks. That's so pretty. And glitter iron-on is so pretty just as is, but when you remove the liner, it takes on such just bold vibrancy. I love that. It's so pretty. Okay, I don't do loose glitter at my house, but glitter iron-on I will do over and over again. Isn't that pretty? So again, choosing something that's more simple and solid for a busy background can be really helpful. If you want to do something with words on it or something more busy, then we did this a couple weeks ago. You just want to pick something that is opposite. So this has more of a solid and quiet background. That way you can be more busy with your design choice. But very cute and fun. Both of these were from the Target Dollar Spot and came in a little set. So very fun and cute. All right, let's go ahead and finish up with, oh, I mentioned that I was going to do another kind of fun thing with that verbiage, welcome to our patch. I did that a couple weeks ago and I wanted to do it for a miniature little sign that can go in the middle of a wreath. I thought that would be super pretty. So let me start weeding this. And this has a very intricate portion of the design. So I'm going to really take my time here and weed that carefully. Okay, so that was so fun and intricate, but it's so worth it. I just love how this looks. I love when you pair a fun font that is very delicate and a script to something more simple and just kind of block, if you will. Okay, I'm trying to get all these little pieces off. So getting the insides of my letters, just like that, and we are good to go. Now I have my transfer tape, and make sure that I have all of these little middles out. They are so delicate. Okay, there we go. And I feel like that one is out. It's just so small. What a testament to how nice the Cricut cuts, right? Okay, placing my transfer tape right over. Oops. Sure it didn't mess it up too much. Hold on. Just got a little wrinkle in it. It'll be okay. Okay, it'll be fine. And let's see. A little scraper is going to help here. You can absolutely zoom back in at this point. All right. Okay. Let's burnish this down. Now, this is from Hobby Lobby in their woodpile section, and it says small wood sign with jute hanger, which I do have. I just removed it because I went ahead and added a single layer of chalk paint right to the surface there. Okay, and now just being careful with that delicate portion that it all transfers over. Perfect. Okay. This in, and this is just something that is so small and fun and simple, just for the middle of a wreath, which I love that look. Okay, again, burnishing down, and then there we go. Okay, come on. It's like wants to be a stinker every part of the way today. We're gonna get it done though. And I just always keep my weeding tool and scraper handy just in case I need to burnish any pieces back down. There we go. Okay, there it is, and I just need to kind of relay this little piece down. I kind of wanted to go, there we go. Welcome to our patch. Okay, so the jute that was included was this kind of chunky one. I am going to use a finer one that I have. This is also from Hobby Lobby, just because I like the look a little bit more. So let's see, how do I want to, oh, you know what I'll do? Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I need to first decide how long I want this. Let's cut a piece down. That way we can just play with this a bit. Okay, I'm going to do it this way. Decide on a length, and I think something like that is good because I want it to come down to the middle of my wreath. And I'm simply just going to tie this like so, just along the back. Okay. And you can reuse the jute that it comes with, but I just really liked doing something a little bit more simple and dainty. Okay, so there is a fun little sign you can put in the middle of your wreath, or you can put it wherever you'd like. The idea I had was wanting it to be more of a welcome sign. So I love this idea. I think it's super easy and super simple. All right, so there were my fall crafts for this video. I love how everything turned out. I'm really loving the vibe of this sign. It's just super pretty. And I love how these two pieces can pair really well and be displayed together. And then it was so fun going ahead and bringing back my sublimation printer and getting that up and running so that I could have fun with that this fall. Love how this mug turned out. And again, because it is sublimated on there, it is on there. So you can put this in the dishwasher and not worry a thing about it. And I have a little welcome sign for the inside of our wreath and a pretty little hand towel. So again, go down below, let me know what your favorite season is, and let me know which of these little crafts you liked the best. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching and you were inspired, and I'll see you in the next video.